How does confidence impact your daily life? Confidence can help you in sneaky ways that you maybe don't even think about. When you think about your ability to handle daily life, do you think about your confidence, or do you even recognize the connection between how confident you are and how you show up in the world? From relationships to taking risk to recovering from mistakes you make or how you might deal with failure, building confidence can be extremely important. Today, we're going to talk specifically about how confidence impacts your ability to do everyday things that you may not have ever considered. Welcome to the Crazy Confidence Coach podcast. I'm on a quest to help you find the most confident version of you. I help women become the most authentic version of themselves by helping them find clarity around who they are and who they want to be. My goal is to help women sift through all that noise that they have in their head about who they should be or who they shouldn't be, and create a plan to be exactly who they want to be. You don't have to continue to live with anxiety, high stress, and overwhelm. You can, little by little, get back to a place of peace and live with more contentment than you ever thought possible. You don't have to merely survive day to day. There is a life waiting for you, thriving. Grab your coffee, your favorite colored pen, and a pad of paper because we're headed out to find your confidence today. Hey there and welcome. This is episode 50. We are talking all about confidence and how it impacts the things that you do on a daily basis. What does it impact your ability to do? Number one, it impacts your ability to take risk or seize new opportunities when they arise. So applying for that job you always wanted, or going for that promotion at work, even though the guy down the hall that you talk to every day is going for it too. Maybe it's taking a 3-month trip instead of going directly to college after you graduate. What about starting a new company when you have created a new product that you want to put out into the world? Confidence can keep you stuck in the play it safe mode for an eternity if you allow it to. When you have self-confidence, you're able to take risk in stride. So underneath everything, you kind of just know it's going to be okay. Even if the new opportunity doesn't work out or the risk you took was really big and it didn't turn out either. You just inherently know you're going to recover. If you don't have the confidence, you don't even have the ability to take a step in that direction. That leads us directly to number 2. Confidence allows you the ability to recover from mistakes and from failure. When you are confident, you most likely take more risk in life, and that can lead to more failure. So pretty scary, right? But for that confident individual, this isn't a problem at all. They adjust by evaluating and seeing what worked, what didn't work, and making corrections and then moving on. This confident person doesn't spend time beating themselves up or feeling like a failure. You understand that failure is just absolutely 100% part of the process, and it can actually give you great information when you make mistakes. So think about the big mistakes you've made in your life and what you've learned from them, because some mistakes are so big, you decide that you never want to make that mistake again, right? And then sometimes you just learn and you move on. No big deal. Imagine this. If you're in a big hole deep in the ground with stairways up the wall, and each stairway leads to a different door. There are 20 or so doors, and behind one door, you're guaranteed that all your dreams come true. Behind 10 of those doors, you'd have to climb the ladder and open the door. You can make your dream come true, but it's going to require more work than you'd like. And then behind the other doors, you just get greeted with a big red sign that says, failure. The key is here, you can open as many doors as you like, but the quicker you open the doors, the quicker you get to your dream. Simply standing at the bottom and looking up and looking at all the doors above you, being afraid to open the wrong door and just staying there, not taking action, keeps you stuck in the hole. Confidently climbing each stairway and then open the door is being willing to fail, is being willing to do work even though you may or may not get the big win, right? So you gain information when you climb those stairs and open the wrong door and see what is available behind the door. You get process of elimination. Taking that action, being willing to fail, being willing to take that feedback and being done. It's super beneficial from that standpoint and confidence. Number 3, your ability to communicate clearly and directly. If you have strong confidence, you're able to communicate clearly and directly. You have thought through things, you believe in yourself, you know that even if you make a mistake, it's okay. When we shy away from communication, it usually indicates we fear the response that we might get, or maybe we don't believe in what we're saying enough to stand behind it. Oddly enough, when we don't speak clearly and directly, people usually don't respond to us, which gives us more of what we don't want. Think about how you get a child to stop before crossing the road when the car is racing down the road. Do you gently say, "Oh, I don't know if you should cross the road"? No. Usually we say, "Stop, don't cross the road," or some version of that. You may say something crazier, but you know that you have to be clear, direct, and you're confident that you're accurate about assessing the situation. This is no different about everyday life. You couldn't care less what other people around you are thinking when you're confident, and you most likely wouldn't lower your voice even if someone told you you had to. So being confident gives you that ability to be clear and direct. What other scenarios can you think of in your life right now that you are so incredibly confident about that you would scream it from a mountaintop, or in the front of your yard, or wherever you see a kid run across the road? Think about that place and think about those things that you're so confident about. Why? It's because you know them well and you believe in them because you've spent the time and you know that you have recovery of some point, of some sort. Then let's talk about number 4. You have the ability to live life with a lot more curiosity. And this is huge. If you spend any time with me, you know how much that I believe in curiosity. By allowing yourself to not have all the answers, not have to be correct about everything you think you know, and have the willingness to learn outside of your own experiences and capabilities, you leave room for so much growth and the ability to build even more confidence, because the more you know, the more confidence you are. Confident, not confidence. Curiosity just helps us learn about the world around us. When we're able to step back and ask questions, take time to understand the why and the how, instead of just making judgments or assumptions, it can help us build bridges, not walls. So confidence leads with curiosity. Number 5, having confidence can help us move past fear and anxiety on a daily basis. Look, fear is a natural emotion driven by our thoughts. It's something that is built into our survival instinct. There are times when we can feel fearful and not even know why, but then figure out that there is a dog around the corner, or maybe you're responding to somebody who is looking at you. You feel like somebody's staring at you or looking at you, and you look up and lo and behold, there's somebody watching you. Haven't you ever felt that? And then you realize that something's going on. I really believe that we have this system that we've been created with that is there to help us when we need to be fearful so we can run and we can protect ourselves. Thankfully, more often than not in today's society, we aren't really threatened as often by bears or tigers, but our fears are more about what we imagine what might happen if we do something and other people react, or what they will believe about us. You can fear all kinds of things in life, but it often comes down to not believing you can handle what comes your way. If you pay really close attention, when you feel fear, you will have racing thoughts that are focused on negative impacts of what you're fearing. So you're fearing a bad grade on a test and you're over dramatizing it, or you're fearing how your husband is going to respond when you spent $200 on a purse, or you are fearing how you're going to get in trouble at work because you made a mistake on a spreadsheet that you turned in. But as you gain more confidence, you know you can handle what may come, and you realize that Fear itself is less and less about the fear and more about your ability, or at least your belief in your ability of handling it. And if you really think about anxiety, you will find that if you spend a ton of time fearing the future or fearing what could happen, this will create anxiety for some of us. And if you consider for just 1 second writing down all the things that in your life that you've already handled, then it might help you fall into that anxiety a little less, because we all have anxiety, or at least I feel like everyone has some level of anxiety. It can be extremely empowering and helpful if you remind yourself you have in the past had things that were difficult to handle and you handled them anyway. So make your list of all the things that you've already accomplished, the things that you've already feared and overcome, and all the things that you've had anxiety about, but you've been able to handle. That will give you the confidence to believe that you can make or deal with anything else that comes your way. Number 6, having confidence helps you have healthier relationships. No doubt we all have heard a boss or a friend that spends time cutting down other people, or maybe they scream to prove their point. When you step back and you observe someone with this behavior, would you say that they're confident or not confident? What if I told you screaming, yelling, all of that just screams that you're not confident? A healthy relationship will rely on both parties at work or at home to have solid confidence individually so they can come together with mutual respect. When you find someone who needs to yell or overpower others to do what they need to do, typically they're just not confident in their own ability to get things done without the yelling or overpowering. They may even feel that they're unheard or powerless in the situation. And sometimes you're going to think that no, that isn't the case. Your boss has power. But if the only power they have over you is yelling louder or screaming louder, then they really don't have that much power. So I want you to think about this. If you or someone you know is constantly having to yell to control other people or get a point across, ask yourself why. Do you or do they feel seen and heard? Why or why not? Evaluate this and figure out maybe they have a lack of confidence in the relationship because there is an imbalance, or maybe there's lack of communication, or maybe there is something else going on. Sometimes figuring out what's going on can help both parties have more confidence, feel seen and heard, and actually bring down the yelling and screaming and chaos that happens sometimes in relationships. This is something I've helped people do in coaching. If you don't even have to have both parties available to be coached, if you want to have a relationship check and figure out what's going on in your relationship based on yelling and screaming, tap into a discovery call. It's free. I can help you figure that out. It isn't necessary to have yelling and screaming in a relationship, and it is oftentimes a sign that there's a lack of confidence by one party or the other, and sometimes it's just simply not feeling seen and heard. Really and truly, having confidence in a relationship gives you the ability and the other person the ability to show up in the relationship knowing you're both individually whole with or without the relationship. When you don't have the confidence that you can survive without the relationship, you will not be able to come to the relationship with trust, unconditional love, and support for each individual. Instead, you show up with self-doubt, jealousy, and insecurity. So figure out a way to be confident in yourself and in your ability to take care of yourself without a relationship and in a relationship, and you will reap the benefits for the relationship. Number 7, having confidence gives you the ability to handle rejection or when someone criticizes you. Did you know that criticism is simply someone else's opinion? Think about that for a minute. Even constructive criticism is one other person's idea of how something should be done. So when someone rejects you, it can be extremely difficult to understand and hurtful sometimes. Many of us just hate to be rejected. I'm in that boat too. Let me tell you, it sucks sometimes. But let's take a little harder look at rejection. What is it? It's simply someone else making a decision that is different from the decision you wanted them to make. So, rejection can come from a friend, a spouse, your children, coworkers, even from people you don't know. When you break it down, your confidence determines the way you recover from the rejection or criticism. I am going to challenge you. Get curious about rejection in your life, both when you get rejected and what you reject on a daily basis, and it will become much less threatening to you. When you reject someone, consider the people on the other side of your rejection, and I'm going to give you some examples. Think about the last time you were walking into a store when the Girl Scout was sitting there selling cookies. Do you always buy the cookies? Well, I don't. I do sometimes, but I don't buy them every time. So the times that I don't, I am rejecting that Girl Scout. And it feels horrible, right? You want to just give them your money, but I choose not to do that every single time. Do you tell someone at work you don't want to take their shift or cover for them while they're off on vacation for the holidays or for their birthday or something? Think about that. That rejection doesn't mean anything about them. It's just a choice that you're making that impacts them. It's a rejection. Has your spouse asked you to take out the trash and you didn't do it? Some people take that as a rejection. Sometimes you can choose an outfit and other people think the outfit is either quote unquote inappropriate or they don't like it. It's simply their belief or their criticism is simply something that they wouldn't choose that you choose. We all receive and give rejection and criticism. Get to a place to where you're able to look at it objectively and not allow it to kill your self-esteem. Becoming more confident that you can handle whatever comes your way because guess what? You can. What other ways do you see confidence impacting your daily experience of life? I would love to hear more about your confidence journey, and I would love to help you keep your confidence strong and working in your favor. Keep doing the work, get a little stronger each day, and we'll all get confident together. Hey, I want to thank you for listening in to the Crazy Confidence Coach podcast. I really hope you learned something valuable today. Can you do me the biggest favor? Right now, could you share the show with 3 people you know that might enjoy listening in? If you haven't already, I would greatly appreciate it if you took the time to leave a rating or review. This helps people just like you find the podcast so they can also get great fun tips about confidence. Then don't forget, come back each week and we will keep giving out little tips for how to increase your confidence, how to ditch that self-doubt and stop your negative thought patterns so you can get back to your crazy confident self and pursue your biggest dreams fearlessly. See you next week. Love you big.